Hello, good afternoon or good morning, wherever you are. Good afternoon or good morning, wherever you are. There. Okay, so this will be our next session for today. Okay. Okay, by the way, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask in our comment section or in our chat section there in YouTube or here in any kinds of live stream. Please do not hesitate to ask, okay? I'll try my best, but sometimes there is just a little bit delays on the live streams chat, so bear with me if ever that I cannot read your chat or questions right away or comments right away, okay? Okay, so now let us start with having a recap first from what we have discussed last week. Okay, so from the last week, we just finished here from the page 25 and 26. I test your knowledge about the previous lessons or topics that you guys learned from my sessions. So those are there. So those are about nouns. So what are the use and the jobs of the nouns? So we have here the noun use as subject, the trophy noun used as subject complement. Next is noun used as possessive noun used as object of preposition, and noun used as direct object. Okay, so that's what we have discussed here, and you guys apply it. Hello, can everyone hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Okay, there's some technical issues, so there you go. So now it's already fine. Okay, so this is what we guys learned, and you apply it, okay, by answering these items from test A, okay, or the review exercise, test A, test B, C, and D, right? We also have here the last two is the test E, F, and G. Okay, so we finished with that from the last week. So now let's go to the next one. Okay, we are already done with the nouns. So the next part of speech, or the second part of speech that you guys going to learn, is the adjective. So we are done with the noun. So now let's go to the adjective. So under the adjectives, we have six. We have here what is an adjective, descriptive adjectives, determines or limiting adjectives. Okay, what else? Suffixes and origin of adjectives, overview of adjectives, and review exercises, which is like what we did in nouns. So this is the review exercise. But the rest of the five, okay, 1 to 5 for this chapter 2 is a lessons for the part of speech adjective. Okay, so let us start already. Okay, so let us start with the first one, that is called what is an adjective. So we have here a certain little words make a big difference for nouns and pronouns. So yes, so for example, we have here the red, the, an, and a, my, this, whose, any, and to. So, right, we ask you, what is an adjective? Other than that, so these words are called adjectives. So, yes, the ones that in the um, panitas, as we call it, right, are the words of an adjective. Okay, all of this. One, two, three, four, five, six, and seven words. Those are an adjective. Okay. So another one for adjective, they modifies the noun and pronouns. Okay, so when we say modifies, right, or modify, these are the describing words. Okay, so this adjective describe and actually describes a noun and a pronoun. Okay. So in this chapter introduces two groups of adjective, descriptive adjectives and determiners or limiting adjectives. Okay, in grammar, we say that an adjective modifies the meaning of a noun or a pronoun. So yes, we call it as an adjective, we call it as a modifier because it modifies the noun and the pronoun or pronoun. Okay, so again, when we say modifies, it describes. So since this is an adjective, adjective describes a noun or a pronoun. Okay. Okay, so next one. So we have here modifiers make clear or limit the meaning of other words. Yes, to make things more clear or to make it short. So it's like, if you remember right, the subject complement, it's like replacing the subject. That's like the modifier. But their difference is this one, we are not using a noun. We are using a or we are using an adjective with this. Okay, we are giving limit, okay, to the other words, like for example the subject noun. Okay, so for the next one, okay, for the next one we have here the descriptive adjectives. So right, again, when we say when we say adjectives, these are the nouns that describes or modifies the noun or pronoun. Okay, so the first type here, right, we have here, it says here that we have two groups. Okay, two groups of nouns, and one of them are called descriptive adjectives. So this is the first one. We have it here already, the descriptive adjectives. Okay, so what does it mean when we say descriptive adjective? So when we say descriptive adjectives, so this is the specify the shape, okay, or it specify the shape, the size, or color of the noun they modify. Okay, so how is it? Right? How does the descriptive adjective be is specify or specific shape, size, or even color of the noun that being modified? Okay? So we will see that later. So first we have here the descriptive adjectives are often called common adjectives. Yeah, so we those are the descriptive adjectives that we use to describe a noun and a pronoun are called common adjectives. So those are the adjectives that you mostly used in everyday conversation or in everyday, right? Or in everyday sentences. Okay. So other than that, so like a common noun, they are ordinary. Yes. So like common, right? Mostly that we use and we hear. Okay, what else? Everyday adjectives also. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, these are the words that we use every day. Okay, so they describe a noun in a general way. For examples of common adjectives are soft, blue, sunny, small, and wet. So those are an example of common adjectives, right? If you remember, you have said that maybe, right? When you are talking or when you're explaining, maybe you say these words, okay? So maybe this stuffed toy is soft. The sky is blue. Okay, today is sunny. What else? The object is small. Okay, we call this, the floor is wet. Okay, for example. So those are the things that sometimes that we say as a normal conversation and as a normal sentence, right? Okay, so if you have any examples for an adjective, you can put it on a sentence much better. So we can explain also, or I can explain which one there is the subject that is being described, or which one is a noun or a pronoun that you use in the sentence that is being described, right? That is being described by the adjective or by being modified by the adjective, right? Okay. So we have here in general, common adjectives are placed before the noun. And they are describing, as I mentioned earlier, right? I keep on saying this, that the adjective, okay? Remember, so that you can put it on your mind and easy to remember that an adjective is a describing word. So it's already here. Okay. It says here it is placed before the noun. So adjective first before the noun. Okay. As the following examples illustrate. Actually, if you have seen some examples, these going to start with a noun, and right after the noun, they will put the adjective. That is also okay. Okay. But the proper way, okay, or in general, okay, when we use the common adjectives, we will start first with the adjective itself before a noun or a pronoun. Okay. So for example, we have here, we're going to use here the blue ball, okay, and the wet flippers. So from the blue ball and the wet flippers, okay, let us identify which one there is the adjective. So, of course, it says here, descriptive adjective is the color blue. Okay. And our noun is a ball. Okay. So, in here, okay, wait. Okay. So, in here, we have the noun ball and the descriptive adjective blue. So the ball is being modified here, or the ball, okay, or the ball is the one that being described here as color blue, right? So it means the blue is the modifier adjective, or the blue is the describing word, or an adjective. It describes the ball. The ball is color blue, like that. Okay. Same goes with the flippers, the wet flippers. So the flippers is a noun, while the wet is an adjective. Okay. So wet is an adjective. So wet describes the flippers. Okay. So it is already wet. Okay. So that is asking or describing the quality or the state of the flipper. So it is wet. Okay. So again, this is, as you can see, it starts, both of these examples is starting with a descriptive adjective like the wet and the blue, while it ends with a noun, or it is next with a noun like the ball and flippers. Okay, so again, we have the blue ball and we have the wet flippers. Understood? Okay, are we all clear? I hope we are all clear, right? Okay, so now let's go to the second page. So for the second page, this is just the continuation of the descriptive adjective. Okay, so another for the descriptive adjective, it says here that an adjective can also come after the linking verb to be. So this is a linking verbs. If you remember, the linking verbs that we have is am, is, are, was, and where. So those are our linking verbs. While when the adjective describes the subject of a sentence. Okay, so yes, of course, also that we can actually use linking verbs. Okay, when the adjective is describing either a noun or pronoun or the subject of a sentence. It says here. Okay. So in this case, it is called a predicate adjective. So if you remember, right, we have here um, some of the different parts of an adjective, and one of them, okay, is the predicate adjective. How can we use this predicate adjective? Okay, so for example, we have the hamburger is large. So which one is the subject? Okay, which one? The subject here is the hamburger, right? While we have also here the linking verb is. So is, right, is a linking verb. While we also have here the word large. The word large is the predicate adjective. Okay? So when we are using it like this, let's start with the subject. We have the linking verb and we have an adjective. Okay, we call this sentence as the predicate adjective. Okay, so another explanation here that in this example, the adjective large, okay, the word large here describes the subject hamburger. Which one? This one, the hamburger. Okay, so large modifies the word hamburger or describes the noun or the subject hamburger. Okay, calling it a large hamburger is the same as stating that the hamburger is large. It is the same thing when you say a large hamburger or the hamburger is large are the same thing. Okay, another example, which is the flippers are green. Okay, so which one there is the subject? Okay, the subject is the flippers. I mean, we also have here use a linking verb, right? So as you can see, we started on a subject or a noun right after. Right after we have the linking verb first before the adjective or the predicate adjective. So it says here in this example, the adjective green describes the subject flippers. Yes, it's true. Okay, because flippers is a noun. So calling them green flippers is the same as stating the flippers are green. Okay, green flippers or the flippers are green are the same thing. The green is still an adjective while the flippers is still a noun. Okay? Did you get it? Okay? So it says here that the meaning of a predicate adjective. So this kind of adjectives are placed after the linking verb and they always expand on the subject. So this is true, okay? So remember that the use of predicate adjective if the adjective is right after the linking verbs, okay? Okay, so next one, we have here the descriptive adjectives can be also formed from a proper noun. Yes, you can actually add it on a proper noun. So mostly right earlier, we just use some common nouns, okay? And we also use the common adjectives. Okay, so for example, we have Mexico, America. Okay, next is Mexican, American. Okay, so for example, into a sentence, yeah, we will have Mexican student and American flag. Okay, so we use a proper noun. Proper noun is, right? When we say proper noun, what is it again? A proper noun is a specific name or of the nouns. Okay. Okay, so one of them of the proper nouns example are Mexican and American. Okay, so we have here the Mexican and then we add, okay, a student, and we also have an American and we add the flag. Okay, so proper adjectives can be formed from the name of a particular person, place, thing, or idea. So yes, we will use this proper adjective, okay, if the subject or if the noun or the name in the sentence is a proper noun. Okay? Okay, okay. So, it is, okay, it is very basic. So, those are the four common adjectives in the proper or the, we also have here the predicate adjective and where are we? The proper adjective. So, we in total of this, what do they call this topic? Descriptive adjectives, we have three, okay? So the common adjectives are the common adjectives that we use every day, okay? So with the common adjectives, it is always start with an adjective first and the noun that being described or modified, okay? So next one for the predicate adjective, we will use this predicate adjective or we call it as a predicate adjective. It is if it's right after, okay, right after the linking verb. So for example, this one, the hamburger is large, right? So after the linking verb, we have the adjective large. So next one, well, the last one, which is the proper adjective. Okay, so when it's proper noun, it's Mexico or America. When it's a proper adjective, we say Mexican. So that is our adjective. While we add the student, so student is a noun. Okay, while an American, we have here the American flag. So the flag is being described as an American and the student is being described as a Mexican. Okay. So in here again, we use a proper adjective like a proper noun. Okay. Okay. So for the next one, okay, we are in third page already. Wow, that's very fast though. Okay. By the way, do you have any questions regarding with um the first part of the second part of speech, which is the adjectives? Okay, do you have any questions? Okay, none? Don't have any questions. So if there's none, let's move on to the next one. So for the next one, we are done with the describing adjective. Is it right? Sorry. Okay, sorry. Describing or descriptive adjectives. So now let's go to the second part of this. So the second part, it is called the determiners or limiting adjectives. So how do we use this? Okay, so the second group of adjective is called determiners. Okay, the second group, okay, or other adjective as we call it, okay, in the sentence. Okay, wait, give me a sec. What happened? Oh, wala. Okay, I think there's no questions. Alright, so we have here the continuation. So since determiners limits your choices, they are also called as limiting. Okay, so from the word itself, limit. Okay, limit the choices. Okay, so it is called the limiting adjectives. So a determiner is placed before the noun it modifies. Okay? So later on, I will show you some examples. So, a determiner helps to identify a specific noun rather than describing it. Okay? So, in this kind of type of using of an adjective, we are using an adjective that is a determiner, okay, to determine or to identify which one is the subject. Okay, done with the specific noun that being described. Okay. So for the next one, articles specify whether a noun is referred to in a general or specific way. So let's go back again with the articles, the a, the an, and the or the. Okay, so the most frequently used adjectives are a, an, and the. So these words are usually called as articles. Okay. Okay, so another one that there are two different types of articles. Again, if you remember the indefinite articles and definite articles. So let's go back there with the articles. Okay. So remember the indefinite and definite articles. So the indefinite articles are a or letter or the an. While the definite, okay, the definite article is using the word the or the. Okay, so let's go back there again. Okay, so there are two different types of articles. Okay, it is already mentioned the indefinite articles and the definite articles. Okay, so for indefinite articles, we have a and an. So for a, okay, it is used for consonants, okay, like a boy, while the an is used for vowels, okay? Okay, the word that starts with a vowels, okay? So the a and an refer to one, okay, one of a general group. Use and before a noun. Okay? Starting with the vowel, of course. So in the example, a boy, we don't know which boy is being referred to. Okay? So that's why there's no specific noun here, but it uses a common, which is a boy. Okay, so now we are done with the indefinite articles. So next one is the definite articles. So for definite articles, we have the friends. So we have used the the and the common noun friends. Okay? So the indicates that noun, either singular or plural, refers to someone or something in particular. So in the example, the friends, we are indicating the specific group of people that are or should be friends. Okay? Okay, give us a sec lang. Okay. Okay, wait lang. Okay, anyways, so continuation. Okay, so now we are in the possessive adjective. So we just had the recap for the articles, the indefinite, the a and an, and the definite, which is the. So for the possessive adjectives, okay, so in here, possessive adjectives are based on subject pronouns and show ownership or relationship. So if you remember the possessive nouns, right? So this one for possessive adjective, okay, basing on the subject pronouns and show ownership or relationship to the subject, okay? If it's either a noun or a pronoun. So next, in here we have I, you, he, she, it, we, you, and they. So in here, so these are called the personal pronouns. Okay, so when we say personal pronouns, that is we use for persons. Okay, so like me. Me is a personal pronouns because these kinds of pronouns are for the persons. Okay, so in this term, the word personal relates to persons, so as I mentioned earlier. Okay, so possessive adjectives, as the following chart show, are derived from these personal pronouns and express the idea of possession. Okay, so with the exception of it, all of them relatable to people. So if we're going to use these kinds of pronouns, they are related to people. Okay, so for the personal pronouns, we have also the singular and plural. So we call it as the possessive adjectives, okay, through singular and plural. What does it say again when we say singular? Who does remember? Okay, how about the plural? Who does remember what is that? Okay. Okay, so when we say singular, it is for one person only or it's a single, while plural is two or more. So for let's have here the personal pronouns that into singular. So my is a my is a personal pronoun. Your, you're referring to the ownership. Okay, his, her, and its. Okay, so these are the personal pronouns into singular. While when it's plural, when it's two or more, we will use our, your, and their. Okay? Okay, so we are done already with the first half of possessive objects, or sorry, possessive adjectives. So now let us now continue with some examples. So for example, we have here Anna is my sister. Like another one is Lakewood is our pool. So as you can see here, right after the possessive adjective that is in first part of the sentence, okay? And then we have here the linking verb, and then we put our possessive, the subject itself. So this is our possessive adjective. Okay. Okay, we are already in the fourth page. Okay, so it means we're almost done for today. So the possessive adjective can express ownership or relationship. In English, the possessive adjective his and her related to the person who is the possessor. Okay, look at the following examples. Okay, so remember that the possessive adjective has or express an relationship or connection okay, or ownership to the possessive adjective. Okay, so in English again, the his or her is the possessor. Okay, so for example, we have again, he is his sister Anna, or her boyfriend, or I sorry, her or her brother Andy. So his is a masculine that is possessive adjective. Okay, masculine, which is a man, but there is no specific name. Okay, while Anna is a feminine noun, or what they call this? Their noun is a very clear one. Okay, you can easily understand this. Okay, so next, her brother Andy. So in here we have the feminine of possessive adjective, which is her, while the masculine noun, which is the brother, I and Andy. So basically the her and the brother and even the sister and his. So there are actually and um under under the possessive adjective. Okay, okay, so for next one, okay, so in the first example, his modifies the noun sister, and in the second, her modifies the noun brother. So in here we just add, or we just use some. Okay, so some of the pronoun as a possessive adjective, so that you can check also if they are correct. Okay. Okay, so let's go now with the demonstrative adjective. So, right, we are done with the descriptive adjective and the possessive adjectives. So, now let's go to the demonstrative adjective. Okay. So for the demonstrative adjective, it says here that point out person or things. They can point to either singular or plural form. So how? So for example, these are the descriptive adjective. We are using this th word. As you can see, it starts of course with this suntan lotion, or those flip flops. Okay. So in here, we have here the suntan lotion. So this and that are singular, right? While this and those are plural. So for this, okay, as you can see, there is only one suntan lotion. So it means this is for singular. While the those, okay, if ever that you have, okay, if ever that you have a more than two, for example, flip flops, or yes, you have a more than one of flip flops. Okay, one for your left and one for your right, right? Okay, so we are done already with the possessive adjectives. Do we have any questions before we go to the next one? Okay, next page. Okay, so none. What page are we? So one, two, three, four. Okay, we're almost done. So for the last page, okay, so for the last page, we have here, okay, the interrogative adjectives, which we are using the word which, the what, and whose together with the nouns they modify are commonly used as form questions. So yes, when you are using the WH questions, you can actually modify as the subject, and at the same time you are using the commonly, okay, it commonly modifies, okay, form of questions. Okay, so for example, we have here which life vest, or whose air mattress. So right, we use here the which, and the whose. Okay? So in this first example above, which modifies the noun life best. In the second example, whose modifies noun air mattress, okay, is used to indicate work ownership. Okay, wait, what happened? Okay, there you go. Okay. So it modifies the which describes or modifies the life best, while the whose, okay, whose modifies or describes the air mattress. Okay. So you're actually asking with this because it is a form of question, right? Okay, so next. So for the indefinite adjective, okay, so right, we are done with the interrogative adjective. Just a quick reminder, when we say interrogative, it means you're interrogating. So right, when you are interrogating, what do you do with the one that you interrogate? So right, you are asking questions and at the same time they are answering you because of a certain case. Okay? Okay, so for next one, the indefinite adjectives. Okay, so indefinite adjectives is indicate non-specific persons or things. So basically, we will use here some vowels. Okay, so because an indefinite is for not specific person or things. Okay, so we have here the word some, the each, any, many, and several. So these are the examples of adjectives or the indefinite of or indefinite adjectives. Okay. So for example, we have here some girls. Okay. Several lockers. So from the word some and several, so these are the indefinite adjectives, okay? Because there is no specific name. Either there is Anna, okay, which one is the first girl that you have, or Marie, you might miss a called someone and they will get mad of you, diba? So you want to avoid that. Okay, so the word some is an indefinite adjective. Okay, so while the several is an indefinite adjective because they use sometimes, okay, to ask someone about it, okay, or about something, right? Yeah, so we go there in our lockers, right? Okay, so in both of the examples above, we are not certain about the exact numbers of person or things. Yes, we didn't know how many lockers or how many girls are there, right? So as an adjectives, some and several modify the noun girls and lockers. Okay? So we don't say modify that being described, right? Okay? Okay, so next one is the numerical adjective. So this we will stop here maybe until here in 32 and we will just continue this on the next session or on the next meeting, okay? So the numerical adjectives indicate quantity by stating, okay, a fixed number of people or things. So this is like the number nouns. If you have learned it already, we have single, we have double, and we have multiple. But I think for sure you guys will learn those numerical adjectives or numerical nouns, okay? Okay, so we have here an example, one hot dog and two whistles. So we have the singular noun hot dog and the plural noun whistles because we have three or four or two whistles here, but it says here already it's specific two or one. So in here, sorry, so in here the word one is a numerical adjective. Okay, so this is a numerical adjective, while the hot dog is a singular noun. Okay, so one is describing what? The subject hot dog. So it's like how many subjects do we have? Or sorry, how many hot dogs do I have? Or how many hot dogs will I buy? So you can buy one hot dog only. So one again, this is our numerical or number adjective. These are numbers, okay? Given numbers, while the hot dog is a common noun, okay? So next one, we have again two whistles. So the two whistles is a numerical adjective sentence, because why? We have here the word two. So two is can be an adjective, okay? But you guess you saying how much or how many is the adjective or the subject, right? Okay, so the two describes whistles. So whistles is a plural noun. So while the hot dog is a singular noun. So whistle sometimes, okay. So whistles this is an action, but yes, we can use it already as our noun too. Okay, it's already part. Okay. Okay. So this is what we have discussed already. Okay. Okay, so this is what we have discussed for today's session. Okay, so for today's session, okay, this is very informative for everyone, because in here we are started with the adjective, and you guys already learned what is noun. So now we can see what are the connection of a noun, okay, and the pronoun to the adjective or to the other parts of speech. Okay. Okay, so we will continue this numerical adjective in the next session, hoping tomorrow. Okay. Okay, so this is what we have discussed. We stop here on the page 32, but we started on the page. Okay, we started on the page 28. Okay, 28. Next is 29. Okay, 30, 31, and last page is 32. So remember here. Okay. So let's go back. Where is it? Okay, where are we here? Sorry. Let me go back there. Okay. So we started on asking the question, what is an adjective? So remember, right, when we say adjective, these are the words that are used for or that are used to describe the pronoun and the noun in the sentence. So, other than when we say the word describing, this is a modifier, okay, that modifies the noun or a pronoun. Okay, okay, so we also have here the two groups of adjective. We have the descriptive adjective and the determiners or limiting adjectives. Okay, so we started first with the descriptive adjective. Okay, so when we say descriptive adjective, these are the common adjectives that we use every day. Right? So, like soft, blue, sunny, small, and wet. Okay, so other than for the common adjectives, okay, so or the descriptive adjective, these are the ordinary, okay, adjectives that we use most of the time. Okay. While, okay, we have an example here already. For example, blue ball, wet flippers. So in here, as you can see, it starts with the descriptive adjective. Okay, it says here that it is placed, okay, before the noun or the subject that being described. Okay. So while the predicate adjective, you will start first with the noun. Like for example, here the hamburger. This is the noun or the our subject. And before we say the the adjective or the predicate adjective, we will put first a linking verb. So for example, this we have is, and that's the time that we will put the adjective. We have an adjective large. Okay, large is our predicate adjective. Okay. Okay, so for the next one, we also discuss here after the predicate adjective, we can also use the proper adjective. Okay, when you say proper adjective, it's like we use a proper noun to make it an adjective. Okay, so from Mexico, it becomes a Mexican. Mexico is the name of a place, right? So we needed to make it a proper adjective, so it would become as Mexican. And then now, Mexican is already an adjective, then we put a subject. So, for example, Mexican student. So, the student is a noun and the subject, okay? And the Mexican describes the word noun student, okay? Okay, so for next one, we have here the determiners or limiting adjectives. So, we have here, right? We are done that with the descriptive adjective. We are in the second group already, which is called the determiners. Okay. The ones that limits your choices, it is called the limiting adjective. While the descriptive adjectives, right, we can use different kinds of adjective because these are the common ones. But when we say determiners, we are just using limit adjective or a few adjectives only. Okay, so when we say here determiner, this is the one who helps to identify a specific noun, then use it as a describing. Okay. So with that, when we're going to use a determiner, we will use an articles. For the articles, we have the indefinite and definite articles. Indefinite is an a and an, while the definite articles is the or the. Okay. Okay, for remember that the indicates that the noun is either singular or plural. For example, the boy, or it can be the friends. Okay, so we cannot use an indefinite articles for singular. Okay, singular or plural. We cannot say a boy. Yes, we can say it a boy, but we can say it as a boys. Okay, that is wrong. Okay, this is only used for singular, okay? To one of a general group. Okay? For singular or for one kind of noun only. Okay? So we also have here the possessive adjective. Okay, possessive adjective is your when you are basing it on a subject pronouns and it shows an ownership. So with that, we are using pronouns. So when we say pronouns, these are the nouns that replace or words that replaces the nouns. Okay, so we have your singular and plural pronouns like my, your, his, her, its, are, your, and their. Okay, so these are the pronouns. Okay. Okay, so another one. Okay, so we have here the demonstrative adjectives. Okay, so in here, the demonstrative adjectives we are using, okay, we are using the this and those. Okay, so remember when we say this is for one only, while those is for plural or which is two or more kind of noun. So as you can see, the flip-flops has an S. So it means it is plural. Okay, it means it is two or more. So we will use those. While this, okay, this is only for singular because the noun is a singular form. Okay. So the this and that, as you can see here, this and that are singular, while this and those are plural. So see the difference of the spelling of this, okay, for singular, and the spelling of another this again, but this time it's for plural, okay? So while the last, okay, Second to the last is the interrogative adjectives. In the interrogative, we are using the questions, right? When we say interrogative, we're asking. So we are using the which, the what, and whose, okay, by determining the adjective, okay, or the noun. Okay, so which says here, which modifies the noun, okay, whose, it also used for modifies, okay. Okay, so for which we modifies the life best, while the whose we modifies the air mattress. Okay. Okay, so for next one is the indefinite adjectives. Okay, so for the indefinite adjectives, we have the some, each, any, and many, and several are indefinite adjectives. So when we say indefinite adjectives, this is used for, it says here, non-specific person or things. Okay. Okay, so we have here some girls and several lockers. Okay, so as you can see here, this is a common or not specific nouns. Okay, and we use some indefinite adjectives like some and several. Okay, so we are not sure here in this kind of two examples on the exact number of person or things. Okay, so while the numerical adjectives, so when we're going to use the numerical adjectives like the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until number 10, okay, is used to, okay, to give the specific, okay, specific number of a noun. So for example, we have here one hot dog. So we have one hot dog. Hot dog is a noun, okay, and we use a number 1 to be specific on it. While two, okay, two whistles, we have the noun whistles. So we give the number two, so we can give the specific number of the whistles. Okay, so numbers are used also for an adjective or describing, because two and one describes the hot dog, while the two describes the whistles. Okay, whistles is a plural. Okay, while this hot dog is a singular because we also use the word one. Okay. Okay, so that is all for today's session. So I hope you guys learn on this, and still you have to be familiar more on with this because soon we will have a review exercise on this. Okay, so I asked already in the comments section if you have any questions, but do you have any? Okay, is the lessons all clear to you? So I hope it is clear and I hope you learn on this because we're just in the easy part of the part of speech. Okay, we just done the nouns and now we are in the adjectives. Okay. Okay, so if you don't have any question, thank you so much. Okay, and I will end this in a few minutes or a few seconds, this live. But if you have any questions or concerns, okay, I'll still read that. And then maybe on the next session or class that we have, I will answer those questions. Okay, so thank you so much. And I hope you have a great night or great day ahead. And I'll see you guys soon on our next session. So thank you so much and goodbye. Thank you.